One second, everyone. Just trying to connect to Instagram. Okay, looks like we're good. Welcome, everyone, to Notable Approvals. I am attorney Amanda Schaefer. It's been a while since I've done one of these. We've been super busy over here, which is a good thing, but definitely have a lot of videos that will be coming your way in 2025. So definitely take a look. And of course, don't forget to like us and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are watching. Okay, so today we have a case that if you're watching out there and you're a software engineer and you're interested in NAFTA or a TN visa, it's a good one for you to listen to because these are pretty common. What has happened in this case? So this was for a client who's a native and citizen of Canada. Now, under NAFTA, Canadians who are going to work on a TN visa do not necessarily need to formally apply for a visa like you would from any other country, like for an H-1B or something. All you have to do is go to the border with a job offer letter for a job that qualifies under NAFTA. And there's a whole list of them. They're all professional jobs. Typically, you need at least a bachelor's degree. However, they can deny you at the border, and they can deny you for all sorts of reasons. It's not the end of the world if they do. It's just annoying. We've had plenty of clients who are Canadian who entered on TNs multiple times without filing a petition or getting a form of physical visa in their passport, but sometimes they do turn you away, and that's what happened in this case. So when we filed for the non-immigrant visa petition, we filed it under the category engineer. So these are very outdated regulations. I forgot, was it 1990s? I think it was, maybe even earlier when these regulations came out. So engineers, of course, existed. Software engineers, not so much. And that's where we kind of run into the problem here. And this can happen in any area of immigration because the last time we had real comprehensive immigration reform was in the 1990s. We had the Real ID Act and additional reforms in 2005, but even so, pretty outdated by now. So the beneficiary in this case is a software engineer, and he has a degree in computer science. We got a nasty request for evidence, which, as many of you know, if you've watched my videos, I hate requests for evidence. They frustrate me. But essentially, this request for evidence said that a computer engineer is not an engineer within the meaning of NAFTA, and that the employee needs to be performing the duties of a computer engineer. And despite our description, it wasn't enough. So what we ended up doing was we went through the TN regulations first, and there wasn't a definite definition of engineer. If you go through the TN regulations, there are certain professions that it will say you need to have this type of degree, like you need a bachelor degree and a major in engineering and sometimes or related field, something like that. So not every single one has a requirement like that. Most of them have something. So in this situation, the TN regulations didn't define the occupation as some of the other occupations do, and it didn't list what job duties were permissible under this category. So we kind of had to start digging a little bit, go back in time and see, well, what has USCIS said about this historically? So we found a memo from 2000 that said that computer-related professionals or engineering professionals can qualify for TN status as engineers. And we're like, awesome, found the answer. And it also said that software engineers at a professional level needs a minimum of a bachelor degree in engineering or a closely related field. And that's where the key is, because if they said in engineering, then this client would have been out of luck because his degree is in computer science, which is kind of ridiculous if you think of if anyone out there is familiar with these professions and these majors, that you can completely be a software engineer with a non-engineering degree. So under the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, or the Occupational Handbook, it said that we had, after we found this memo, we had to go then look there because we are going to have to compare the job. So computer engineering professionals include software developers who need at least a bachelor in science and computer and IT or information technology or a related field. So this is according to the US government on what you need to be a computer engineer. And we saw that 15% of workers with engineering degrees work in computer or mathematical occupations. What does that tell us? That not all engineers do typical engineering work or non-computer engineering work. And that, so your engineering degree can be used for even a mathematical occupation or a computer occupation. It also said that the typical entry-level education for a software developer is a Bachelor of Science, and USCIS is notoriously hard on computer professions and IT professions, always constantly arguing that a bachelor degree isn't required. So this was very helpful too. And we also saw that software developers were listed as a top employing occupation for workers in the engineering field, or sorry, workers with an engineering degree. So again, very significant point. Then, so I had to cite the memo. I had to put in the information from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, as well as explain it. Like, okay, here's what our government considers an engineering degree to be able to entitle you to do, and this is what someone who's going to be a software engineer can do. Then we had to explain more of the employee duties. So I made a few charts, and I think this may have been what kind of cinched it for us. So I had one chart where I went and I looked up different educational requirements for a NAFTA engineer versus the employee's background and similar job postings. So what I mean by that is I looked at what was the minimum level of education and what degree did you need to have. So what I found was that somebody with the employee's background, when you looked up software engineer like on Indeed.com or Monster.com, most of them said you need a degree in engineering or a related field like computer science. Some of them said computer science or related field. So I made the chart and I also included the evidence. The second chart I did was a side-by-side of comparison of classes for these majors. So what I did was I looked at other computer engineering degrees. I looked at NYU computer engineer for a Bachelor of Science degree, SUNY Oswego software engineering degree. And then I looked at my client's computer science degrees he had a bachelor and a master's. I looked at literally the classes and then I compared them. I said, oh, they need, I don't remember them off the top of my head. What statistics, they need math, they need engineering. I'm sorry, I don't remember the classes anymore, but you understand. I showed that the classes they needed to get the degrees were substantially similar. The third chart I did was I took the employee's job duties. I went on ONET, which is also from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, looked at what you needed to be a software engineer there. And then again, the Indeed.com job listings for equivalent job duties. And then I put them side by side to compare them. And then I broke down the employee's job duties and specialized knowledge used for each duty and the percentage of time that he's expected to spend on each duty. We also put in an organization chart of the company to show who he was going to be working under. And After that, since we did premium processing, it only took 1 week to hear back after we responded to the request for evidence with the approval, which we were very excited about. And I believe he's already entered the US and is now working for his new employer. So, what did we learn here? That don't freak out if you get a request for evidence from USCIS that looks daunting. They can be dealt with. The NAFTA laws are, or NAFTA professions to get TN visas are way outdated. So it can be a little difficult sometimes to navigate. How do you deal with a more recent job that wasn't necessarily contemplated under the regulations? Hi, looks like we have somebody from Russia based on your letters. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Uh, and basically, that sometimes it takes a little digging to look back historically on how USCIS has decided these things, but you also don't have to rest on that. You need to look at really what is the current job, what are the educational requirements, what are the degree requirements, and how do they compare with your current case. So we're very happy that our client was able to we do have a Russian joining us. Well, thank you for joining us. I That one I actually got from your letters. um, you may be interested in this if you're a software engineer, but I am actually wrapping up right now. So this will be posted to rewatch if you missed it. But that's really about it today. So if you have any questions about TN visas, software engineers, or any other immigration questions, let's get our contact information. I'm using a new format today, so I wasn't sure how it would look. It's not too bad. So our contact information is scrolling across the top of our screen. You can also DM me as well. That is all for today. We have, like I said, a lot more videos coming up for you in 2025. So keep your eyes out, possibly a few before if I get the time. And thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like us on and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're watching. If you like this video or know someone who may find it helpful or you did, please click that share button and that save button. And that's all for now. We will see you next time.